Imagine it's past midnight. The students and teachers have all gone home to their comfortable lives, and there's a man named Marcus walking completely alone through these silent hallways. He's holding nothing but a mop and a cleaning cart. Empty classrooms, dim lights, quiet loneliness. For years, that was his entire world. And honestly, most people never even noticed he was there. Some would walk right past him without so much as making eye contact, kind of just treating him like background noise. And slowly, after years of feeling profoundly invisible, Marcus started actually believing that his life would never become anything more than those silent, empty hallways. But, well, what nobody understood was that while he was quietly cleaning floors, he was secretly doing something else. Welcome back to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the quiet transformation. We're going to unpack the incredible story of a janitor who quietly, completely built a better life. We're looking at how a guy starting from absolute hopelessness, feeling totally unseen by society, managed to rebuild his life in the shadows. He didn't win the lottery. There's no sudden magical break. He did it one disciplined, exhausting night at a time. It's basically a masterclass in what happens when you stop letting your circumstances define your identity. And really, it forces us to ask a pretty profound question. What happens when you stop accepting your current life as your final life? I want you to keep that provocative thought in your mind as we go through this explainer, because that is the exact mental hurdle Marcus had to overcome. But to really grasp his transformation, we first have to understand where that deep-seated hopelessness came from. The divide Marcus felt every single day was just massive. On one hand, you had his classmates. These were students who spoke confidently, wore nice clothes, and were excitedly planning out futures as doctors, lawyers, and entrepreneurs. And then, on the other hand, there was Marcus. He was quietly shaped by financial stress and neighborhood hopelessness. He grew up in a struggling area where adults worked these exhausting jobs just to survive. His dad disappeared when he was young, and his mom, she was working double shifts at a nursing home just to keep them afloat. Financial pressure was literally a constant shadow in his life. So when a teacher once asked the class what they wanted to be when they grew up, Marcus just stayed completely silent. Deep down, he genuinely couldn't even imagine a successful future for himself. He just felt totally inferior.
And you know, that lack of confidence really followed him. After a brief, failed attempt at college that got cut short by money problems, Marcus took a job as a local school janitor. Now, he promised himself it was just a stopgap. But temporary situations become dangerous when hopelessness grows silently. Months just kind of turned into years. He slipped into this permanent survival mode, waking up tired, working silently, coming home exhausted. The loneliness was absolutely crushing, and it all peaked one evening when an old classmate visited the school unexpectedly. She saw Marcus pushing his cleaning cart, and her expression just changed instantly. It wasn't hatred, it was pity. And man, that moment crushed him, because it basically confirmed his absolute deepest fear, that he had failed at life. But the turning point came on this rainy evening. Marcus was staying late, cleaning an empty classroom completely alone. And as he was wiping old writing off the whiteboard, he just stopped dead in his tracks. A student had left this exact quote behind: "Your current life is not your final life." Marcus just stood there staring at it. For years, he had completely believed his background and his job permanently defined him. But suddenly he's questioning it. Like, what if his situation wasn't permanent? What if he actually could rebuild? And for the first time in years, this quiet spark of hope returned. That very same night, that spark turned into an absolute vow. Marcus went straight home, opened up a notebook, and wrote this down. "I may feel invisible now, but I will not stay invisible forever." Simple words, sure, but emotionally massive. This wasn't some flashy public declaration on social media. It was a private, ironclad contract with himself.
This one sentence marked the absolute beginning of his internal transformation. He was ready to change. But how exactly do you actually do that? Well, he started leveraging the one thing he had an abundance of: quiet time. While he was pushing his cart through those empty hallways, he popped in headphones, and he began just voraciously consuming audio content. He focused on 4 main steps. 1. Business. 2. Communication. 3. Mindset. And 4. Self-discipline. It's kind of surreal when you picture it, right? Plunging toilets while listening to high-level lectures on corporate strategy. At first, he felt totally strange, like it was unrealistic for a janitor to be studying these things. But slowly, he became completely addicted to growth. But listen, motivation is absolutely nothing without execution. Marcus adopted this grueling set of daily habits. We're talking waking earlier, reading daily, exercising even after hours of manual physical labor, and studying online late into the night. And I won't sugarcoat it, it was painfully slow. His body hurt constantly, and honestly, the progress was practically invisible to the naked eye. But Marcus realized something crucial. Real transformation isn't about chasing fast, viral success. It is entirely about slow, painful consistency. Just one disciplined day at a time. Months passed, and this profound internal shift started happening. His old identity, feeling trapped in current circumstances permanently, was completely replaced by a new identity, preparing for a better future silently. This mindset shift was basically his armor, and trust me, he needed it, because it was an incredibly lonely path. His friends actually mocked him, because, who needs enemies when your buddies are laughing at you for reading books, right? They made fun of his self-improvement. But Marcus, he just didn't care anymore. He stopped explaining himself because he absolutely refused to accept average as his final destination. One night, he caught his reflection in a dark library window. His posture was totally different, his eyes were focused. He finally respected himself again. But, as we all know, life rarely lets you level up without throwing a massive test your way. Just as he was really finding his footing, a wave of devastating hardship hit. Let's look at how this played out. First, his mother developed serious health problems. Immediately after, the hospital bills skyrocket. To survive, Marcus has to take constant extra shifts. And finally, complete physical and mental exhaustion sets in. His sleep just vanished. The financial pressure was absolutely suffocating. And slowly, creeping back in from the edges, those dark, old, hopeless thoughts returned to his mind. It all kind of culminated this one night. He was sitting alone in an empty hallway, completely drained. He just wanted to quit trying entirely. Life felt so incredibly unfair. But right then, he remembered that exact sentence from the classroom whiteboard, and a profound truth hit him. Difficult seasons are temporary. Surrender can become permanent. That realization changed him forever. He made the choice not to surrender. He pushed right through the pain and kept rebuilding himself in the shadows. Over the next 2 years, the guy was just relentless. He studied technology, leadership, organization, and eventually the world started to notice. A really observant school administrator began watching Marcus and noticed exactly what separated him from everyone else. He listens carefully during meetings. He solves problems calmly. He shows consistent discipline, and he maintains constant professionalism. He wasn't just a guy with a mop anymore, He was basically a highly capable professional operating in disguise. And that observation led to the ultimate breakthrough. The administrator actually approached Marcus with an unbelievable offer. The opportunity? Managing school operations and logistics. It was a terrifying moment for him. All those years of deep-seated insecurity briefly flared up. But this time around, Marcus trusted his silent growth. He accepted the offer. and he attacked his new opportunity with the exact same relentless discipline he had used to rebuild his mind. He learned rapidly, improved constantly, and completely transformed his reality. So fast forward years later, Marcus's life is entirely different. He's got a better income, immense confidence, a truly peaceful mindset, and real purpose. The insecure, invisible janitor is now a highly successful leader. And one evening, a nervous young janitor who was feeling the exact same hopeless weight Marcus used to feel approaches him and asks this heavy question: "How did you escape this life?" Marcus just smiled quietly at the young man and delivered this incredible answer. "I stopped cleaning only floors and started rebuilding myself too." The hallway went completely silent, because those words perfectly carried the absolute truth of his entire journey. He didn't escape by finding some magical cheat code or shortcut. He escaped by transforming his internal architecture first. I want to pause right here and speak directly to you for a second. This entire journey is what we call quiet growth. It's the process of completely rebuilding confidence and purpose through daily discipline happening privately before becoming visible publicly. Look, we live in a world that absolutely worships loud, flashy, instant success. But what this explainer shows us is that the strongest, most unbreakable success is forged in the dark. Slow progress is still incredible progress. Every lonely night, every painful sacrifice, every difficult decision you make in private, it is actively building your future. And that brings us to the core lesson of this entire explainer. Your current job does not define your future permanently. Your mindset and discipline do. Maybe right now you feel totally invisible. Maybe your life feels endlessly repetitive and nobody is noticing the intense effort you are putting in behind the scenes. Marcus's story proves that if you stop identifying with your current circumstances and instead start focusing on who you are becoming internally, everything will eventually change. So I leave you with this final, powerful thought: I will rise quietly. If you are in a season right now where you feel completely unseen, use that quiet loneliness as your training ground. The discipline you build silently today, while absolutely nobody is watching, is the exact foundation that will transform your entire future. If you're ready to commit to your own silent transformation, I want you to leave a comment below saying, "I will rise quietly." But seriously, ask yourself this before you go. What is the one silent habit you can start tonight that your future self will thank you for? Keep building, stay disciplined, and I'll see you in the next explainer.